To everyone, I am H. Viswas, Academic Counselor of IGNOU. So today our new course, that is the MMPC 012 Strategic Management. This course is also a part of your foundation paper for the management courses, and it is falling in the second semester. So today this is the first session. So today I have to give you some outline of the blocks, how many blocks are there, and how many units are also there for the important units, tactics. Then after that, I will go to the block number 1. So let's see. First, block 1, it contains the introduction of the strategic management, and where there are 3 units. First one is the concept of the strategy, that we have to understand why the strategy is required, and then what is the framework of the strategy. Then the global context, how the strategy is important. And then coming to block number 2, that is your environmental analysis, where you have to see the before start the business or before take the strategy, any strategy, what type of environments are there, internal and external, both the part has to be considered. So again, there are 3 units, unit number 4, 5 and 6. Unit number 4 is the external environment of the analysis, where you have to see the external forces, what are the factors, and then how to analyze the things, keeping in view of the objectives of the company. And unit number 5 is your competitive analysis, where you have to see the competitive analysis in the market. Those are the competitors in the market, and what is the market environment. Based on this, how much you can develop your company as a competitive markets. So unit number 5 is important in the present scenario conditions. Then coming to unit number 6, that is internal environmental analysis. That is also important, equally important, because internally within the organization there are a lot of factors of this. Your motivation of the employees and other shortage of the raw materials, shortage of the manpower. There are so many issues are there. So unit number 6, where you have to discuss and have to analyze the part. Now then after that, the block number 3, that is your formulation of the strategy. How to formulate the strategy. There again there are 3 units. Unit number 7 is your business level strategy. Unit number 8 is your competitive strategy. And 9 is your corporate level strategy. There are 3 different levels are there. So here actually I would like to emphasize one of the things. So any study, there should be in your organization, there should be all levels to fulfill the objectives. Strategy should be in all levels to fulfill the objectives. So that's why there are 3 in the block 3, where you have to discuss the different levels, corporate levels, business levels, and the competitive levels. Now coming to then after that, the last block, that is block number 4. That is strategy implementation and control. And in this block, there are 4 units. Unit number 10, that is the implementations, where you have to see the behavioral dimensions and other dimensions also. Because you see the strategy where the implementation is very important, vitally important part. Then your corporate governance. And finally, the last 2 units are control and evaluations. So this is the way, the outline of the blocks in the strategy. Now I have to first try to concentrate what are the concept of this strategy. And there are some structures given as per the study materials, IGNOU study materials. As it is the same thing, the meaning of the strategy, then features of the strategy, then your strategic management concept. Then where I have to see that there are a lot of strategic concepts there. Different authors have described. Then your strategy versus the policy, then strategy versus tactics, level of the strategy, importance of the strategy. This is the way unit 1 has covered. Then unit number 2. Now let's see in the details of the unit number 1. First, let's clarify the strategy. What is the strategy basically? is a management to process by which the objectives are formulated and achieved. You have to achieve it. And it should be in all levels. So strategy refers to a set of plans for the achievement of the objectives. Other way I can say, it comprises a set of coherent actions performed for achieving a sustainable competitive advantage. The total definition, what are the way you can explain? According to the oblique, he says the strategy is a unified, comprehensive, and integrated plan that relates the strategic advantage of the organizations to ensure that basic objectives of the enterprise are achieved through proper implementation process. So here actually some of the terms has come, that is a unified, comprehensive, integrated. So basically all are managerial terms, because I will give you one of the examples subsequently. What are the unified, and I will refer some of the company, and I will explain, try to more clarification I will give. Now, see it stays stress on the following, that some of the things are here. That is first thing, unified, comprehensive, and the integrated plan, as I said. Challenges of the environment, proper implementations of the achieving the basic objectives. These all are the basic stress of this. But that or other, I can say, yeah, we have to consider it. Basically, before the strategy, the strategy maker or the plan strategy maker, he has to consider all these things. Then strategies are used as a response to the change of the environment. Because if the environment has changes, then you have to take some strategy to align with the market or your objectives. Maybe you have to change it, which your strategy is there, or maybe the new things, new dimensions has to be included. Another definition is strategies organization's pattern of response to its environment over a period of time to achieve its goal and missions. So, various way it has given. I think ultimately, what are the gist of these things? The concept, gist is things, main thing. Strategy is a set of plans to achieve or to perform the desired object, to achieve the desired objectives of the company. That's the main thing. Now, there are two broad categories of the definitions. Strategy as an action include of objective settings and action exclusive. One is the inclusive, another is exclusive of the objective settings. The two parts that we have to see. Strategy as an action inclusive of the objective settings, where as per the currently definition, strategy, the determination of basic long-term goals and objectives of an enterprise, and the adoption of the courses of the actions, and the allocation of the resources necessary for carrying out these goals. So it refers to three types of actions there. One is the determination of the long-term goals, objectives, adoptions of the course of actions, allocation of resources. There are three actions are there. Then your Michael Porter's these definitions, he says the creation of unique and valued positions involving a different set of activities, basically part of your objective settings. The organizations that is strategically positioned performs different activities from the rivals or perform similar activities in the different ways. Maybe there are 2-3 competitors, same organization, same company, similar type of products are they are manufacturing, their product line is same. So that how much differences you can do it. in different way your activity you can perform, so that your market values, your market share can be improved. So strategy is a unified, comprehensive, as I said, integrated plan. It is repetitive basically, relating to the strategic advantage of the organization. So when you are planning some of the new product or new setup, so that should be unified. Means there you can minimize the adaptability part, or operation part you can minimum, you can standardize the things, compatibility should be there. So that is a totality, the unified. Unified means you have to unify the things. Suppose there are 3-4 factories are there. So similar type of equipment should be there, same computers, same machines. So it can be intercompatibility. So you can interchange when it is required. This is the idea behind it for the your unified. Comprehensive, that should be one way you can get it. Should be very comprehensive way. You have to, and integrated is another thing. So if not integrated different levels or different units or different objective setters, so then it will create a problem. So good communication is also there, integrated way you have to do it, then only you can successfully finish your things, and you can implement the strategy also. So it includes determination and the evaluation of the alternative paths to an already established missions or objectives, and eventually choice of the best alternative to be adopted. Then you have to search some of the alternatives. Now coming the features of the strategy. Actually, I mentioned the unit also, so that the learner can easily understand from which unit it is contained and where it is there. So that's why I've written unit number 1.3. It means from study materials you can go through further. If you want to know more in depth, then you can straight away go to the unit number 1.3, where you can get more. The strategy is an integral part of any managerial activity in a plan of actions, and involves the different parameters. As per the 5 P's, we are saying the 5 P's: pattern, then your plan, position, perspective, and deploy. This is the 5 P's are there. It is a, you can say some of the integral part. Then here are some of the patterns I've given. That's a feature of the strategy. There, as that 5 P's are there, you see there are pattern, play, position, perspectives, and the play. So these are the basic features of the strategy. Now, nature of the strategy. The nature of the strategy includes the formulations. Basically, to formulate the different levels. That should be in all the levels should be there. It is an integration of the concept, and both the organizations and the environment are both the should be linked. Combines the contents and the process. Like in mosaics, it can be a structured program, or routine and respective and repetitive. It can be repetitive also. So strategy always in a futuristic way. The nature is future. All that you are thinking for the betterment of the company in futures. Strategy includes a series of steps based on the organization's mission goals, objectives. Strategic management means the effective deployment, strategic decisions taken at top management level, and then transfer to the lower management levels. So initially it will start from the top management, then it will be downloaded to the, or you can say followed by the respective departments, respective levels. So it develops a framework within which an organization's function. So that framework part will come in the second units. Then your strategic management defines is a organizational capability, form of value additions, and the purpose of an organization. It enables the organizations to have an edge over the competitors in the market, and it is a medium and long-term process. Now, there are some of the differences between the strategy and the policy as given. So sometimes we are just confused about the policy and the strategy because company has derived some of the policies there. Sometimes we are just because of the lack of conception or lack of knowledge, we are just thinking that is strategy. It is not like some differences are there. Strategy is a plan for action for achieving the organizational goal. For achieving the organizational goal, our policy is basically the guidelines for certain actions and decision to be taken. Part of the action. So policy basically is a guideline to take the actions for that. This is a situation you have to somehow you have to cope up the things, you have to overcome the things. So that's why the guidelines are there. And then another, from the specification point of view, you see that it is a plan of actions. Plan actions means, okay, after 3 months, what we'll do? After that, what will we do? Then from where I have to take the loans, how many people has to be required, what type of strategy, what type of design should be there. So everything are basically the planned actions. But in case of policy, that is some of the principles of the actions. It's already some of the principles are there, and you have to follow these things. And the nature, if you see the nature of the strategy, it is flexible because you may change it, you may modify the things. But in this case, the policy cannot change randomly. There are some of the fixed barrier exceptions are there. Once the policy is finalized, the guideline is finalized, that is finalized. Then everybody has to follow these things. Okay, no doubtly, undoubtedly, some amendment may require, that may be a course of time. It may allow, again, the policy can be changed after 5 years or 6 years, when it will be needed. So this is the way some differences are there. I'm just only discuss some of the points. There are so many things out there: directions, formulations, coverage. So basically, strategies coverage your external environments, but policy is basically it is your oriented internal environment parts, where within the organizations, what are the standards, what are the guidelines, that is already mentioned in your policies. So now let's see another comparison: strategy and tactics. Now, what are the tactics? What is the strategy? Strategy, suppose if we consider as a base comparison for the goal, so it is a control of resources. There are a lot of resources are there. You have to control it and to reach there. But tactics is the achieve success. How to make the things. Delegations, another thing. Strategy is top to middle. Some delegations are there. But in the case of tactics, these are all levels. Another part is very differential points is there, long terms, because strategies are long terms, and whereas the tactics is the low. I mean, the short terms basically. It's the short term purposes. Immediately you have to solve the things somehow, or manage the things. Now, level of certainly, all things it is a high in the case of strategy, but in the tactics low. It may not be continue for another 2 months or 3 months. That time somehow it has managed, it is achieved, but you don't know. Some uncertainty is there. Level of certainty is low. It may continue or may not be continue. Same tactics. So anyhow, again in the internal environment, as I say, this is external strategy, and tactics is the internal. So now coming to level up your strategy. There are so many levels out there. Strategic decisions are made at the top management level, but strategy operates at different levels. Now, the maker, where the decision making process, we can say all the decision making process on the top levels. The strategy are basically the board of directors, CMD, MD. They are CEO. They are normally taking the decisions. Differently, based on the inputs by the proposals, whatever the proposals, they have to scrutinize it. Then finally, they have to decide. which strategy is really required for this company. But from the operational point of view, the strategy has different levels are there. They have to fulfill what the top management has decided, and that has to be implemented, or different other levels have to follow these things. So that's why the level has been defined as corporate levels, business levels, and functional levels. So as we understand from here, the strategy is required for all levels. So that's why now corporate level, business level, and functional level, there are 3 levels. 2 categories of the organizations are there. Basically, there are 2 types of organizations. Different strategic units are there. Your SBUs. Basically, it is a strategic business units, or different product group of different profit centers. Sometimes there are 2 business, plant number 1, plant number 2, plant number 3. There are 2-3 plants are there. So that is then again, or maybe different products are there. So there's a group of products are there. So that's why the different strategical parts we have to adopt. So different business units are also to be take some strategy. And some of the organizations are single product organization. There should be one strategy are followed by the particular sections. Now there are level of strategy as we tabulated. This is the way the levels are there. That first layer is your corporate levels. Then second row is your SBU, business unit. Then last is your functional levels. So there are 3 levels, or operation level we can say it. So the corporate level, there are corporate offices, corporate level, like this way, as for the structures, and then SBU, different branch units, the ABC, plant number A, B, C, whatever things. Functional is basically the finance, marketing, operations, personnel, information. So every unit should have that type of functional sections are there, or functional departments, or functional units, whatever the way you can say. The level of the strategy. All the level, different strategy should be there. Now, strategic decisions, some of the concept is given level-wise. Type of decisions, the corporate, business, and functional levels, where the things are required. Usually, the corporate, there's a conceptual idea should be significant. In the case of corporate levels, conceptual idea and knowledge is required more. But in the case of, you see, the other levels it may not be significant, because in the case of functional level, those who are in the working levels, in the operations, this is not significant for them, because the corporate levels, where the top management has taking decisions, this is more vital, more important. So that's why the conceptual idea is required more. In the business levels, mix, they should have some of the conceptual idea as well as the operational idea. Both the things this is required. So there, the major impact is a major, and similarly high, medium, low, all these things are profit potentiality, time horizons, adaptability. There are type of decisions. So decisions, how much it is impacted, the level wise are defined here. There's the profit potentials, because the corporate level, they have to, their decisions are impacting on with these things. You see the business levels, where the middle levels, you can say middle management levels, there most of the things are medium, because they have they have to balance the things. They have to take these objectives, what the strategy has been decided by the top management. It has to be make the objectives and implement it. So that part. So their knowledge should be required in 50-50, I can say it. In the operational levels, they should know adaptability is very significant, because in that case, whatever the strategies there, that hardly they have to take it, and with the determinations, yes, we have to achieve it. That type of motivations, that type of skill is required. So that's why it is very significant. But in the case of your corporate level, it is insignificant, because that type of skills they don't require. That skill is required those who are in the front lines, the operational levels. They should be skilled enough. So this is the table is very comprehensive tables. From here you can understand the strategy levels or what the way it is different. Now, important of the strategy. As I said, because different pressure is required, it is increasing the pressures, the external threats, organizations have to clear the strategies, conditions and implement it, and to survive, basically to survive in the market. That's why the strategy is required. That's why it is very important. So that the obsessions or maybe the stereotype products, or maybe the production is share market is declining, profit margin is declining, that conditions, different conditions are there. Because of that, sometimes you have to decide where you want to see your company after 5 years. So different threats are also there, market threats, external economical conditions. That's why you have to take some strategy. That's why you have to take some strategy to survive. Otherwise, there is no strategy. Means you are not conducting the business. You cannot conduct a business. Finally, basically, you have to failure in the success. Benefits of the strategy. Suppose if you have a strategy, what will be the benefit? Management flexibility and meet the uncertain situation. If any uncertain situations will come, then company can overcome the situations. It helps the organizations to take long-term decisions, enables the organizations to deal with the competitive efficiently. What are the competitions? Efficiently can do it. Improve the corporate communications, coordinations, and the allocation of the resources. So there are so many advantages are there, the benefits are there. And another thing makes the managers more active. They have to think more. Some innovation, new startups or ideas are coming up. So motivates the employees to work towards the achieving the organization goal. So all are the benefits of this. Now, some of the assessment questions are there from these units. That is what to do, what do you mean by these strategies? Explain the nature of the strategies, as we say. Then strategy is a synonym of the policies. As I said, strategy and the policy, sometimes it seems to be the same, but it's different. The table is there. You have to comment it, you have to statement, you have to write these things. Then what are the various level of the at which the strategy may exist? So this is the different level, as I already shown that table. The table is the comprehensive table as there. Then discuss the importance of the strategy. That was the last slide. I mean, this unit before the slides I will explain the importance of it. So this is the basically some of the self-assessment questions from this unit. Now we have to go to the next for the framework. So the framework, strategic framework, that is where again the process. They have to see the strategic intents, then strategic analysis, formulation, choice of the strategy, and then your strategic implementations, and strategic evaluation and the control. So this is the part of the number 2. Now, first things, again try to clear the concept of the framework. The process of establishing the hierarchy of the structure and the strategic intent It's very complex because you see there is it's very difficult to understand the things. As you think, word is very simple, strategic, but when you are go through this, the process is very complicated. So that's why the strategies are involved with the formulations, implementations, and the evaluation. So there are so many stages are in the process. So to clear the process, then only we can slowly achieve the things. So that's a lot of frameworks, lot of some of the formation. Basically, the formation we have to try to clear it. So success of these strategies depends on the effective implementations. Another part. So strategies so implemented, it is required the continuous evaluations and control. Because suppose your strategy is prepared. What are strategies is already noted down. Everybody has chalked up and things. It is now notified, it is now advocated everywhere. But for implementing the strategy, so it is very difficult. So that's why there are a lot of process we have to see it, how to best we can understand, we can implement the things, and how to control the things so that we can 100% we can apply. I mean, basically execution of the things to achieve the our objective to achieve the objectives of the things. Now, strategic management process involves creating a strategic intent, conducting, and even in the analysis, formulating, implementing the strategies, analysis of the external and internal environment. So, in the initially the first steps before start the thinking of the management process, what type of projection you require some analysis initially. You have to externally have to see where the conditions are there in the market, and you see your inside in internal environment is also within the organizations where you are now, how much resources you have. Suppose which you are thinking that is really beneficial or not, that is realistic or not. So all these parts are important. You have to analyze it. There are some SWOT analysis also have to do it. Strength, your weakness, what are the threats, opportunities. So from all the things you have to evaluate. You have to link all these things. So linking the organizational strengths with environments, opportunities. Then formulating the alternative strategies and selecting the feasible strategies. Because suppose what the things are really feasible or not, that is the main thing. Because when you start the thing without thinking, without realizing the things, you have started the things. So it may be create a problem, maybe after initially 1 or 2 steps, then you can be stuck off, or maybe you have to again go back to things. So changing, again go back to the starting point, investment, so much investment, time, money, everything will be wasted. So before start the things, before implementing the strategies, you have to analyze it very carefully. It is feasible or not? Really, it is achievable or not? Really, we reach the things or not? So implementing selecting the strategy is very important. Evaluating the implemented strategy and exercises the review and control. At the time to time, you have to review it. It is a continuous process. Taking the corrective measures, because at the time, suppose maybe fortnightly you have to check it, you have to review it. If you feel some modification is required, you have to do it. That is basically the current course of actions, corrective measures you have to take it. Taking a decisions regarding the resources of the allocations, and you have to take some allocations also, if any required. Then see here are some of the process of strategic management. Strategic intent, what your intent for these things, why you are going for these things, that should be clear. Strategy, then you have to analyze the things, as I say, externally and and your internally, externally and internally, both the things, it is viable or not. Then formulations. You have to formulate the things. Then choice of the strategy. Maybe during the formulation there are maybe optional answers coming, different alternatives are there. So you have to choose the best options. So that is your decision making process are there. The choice of the strategy is important. And again, this part is taken by the top management. Then strategy implementations means execution of the work will start. Then strategy in between is the process. During this implementation process, you have to evaluate, you have to control the things, maybe fortnightly, maybe monthly, maybe twice in a month. So what are the way, depending on the type of work, type of project is there. Now see here some of the framework has given some of the first things you have to intend, you have to see this vision. What is the vision you have? Where your visions in the company, where you are looking for after 5 years, my company will be this much or there. So core value of the purpose, you have to see what is the core value. That you have to see. I mean, oil sectors, I mean, in coal sectors, which your core value is this. And what are the purpose of the social systems, missions, then objectives of the goals, strategy. There are step by step it is coming. First things you have to have a vision, the core values you have to decide it, which is really acceptable by the social system or not. Then you should have some missions and objectives and finally. This is some hierarchy. You can see some of the hierarchy of the strategic intent. Then a vision of the organizations, your assumption of the organizations to fulfill, basically to fulfill the things, you should have visions. It encompasses a state of the position which an organization wants to achieve in the future. It showcases the futuristic picture of an organization. It acts as a guide for an organization. So some sort of, you can see the blueprint. Some of the blueprint is required where you can see the mirror, where the company will be like this. So vision is very long-term concept. It is retained the same level of particular in the years. For example, for 15 years. So strategy, when you are saying every year you cannot take a strategy. So it should be at least your program, strategic program, that should be at least 15 years. So it should be, it is should be process. The following some of the traits you have to see. First of all, you have to try to search some of the uniqueness, directionals, core values, clear. That should be clear, visible, fixable, and inspiring. So all this quality, all this your traits should be there when you are in this process. Then some of the regarding the visions. Here you see the vision basically is a statement. It gives an organization with a clear strategic directions of the for the futures, and it is sustainable advantage. So if we see the vision, basically it contains your guiding force, structured strategies, well-defined your workforce, motivational factors, and your image of the organizations. All are your part of your visions. Then strategic framework. Again, within this vision is again advantage of the visions are few benefits according to an organization's visions. That is a foster experimentations, promote the long-term thinking, and it can be a benefit for the people, represents the integrity, and should be inspiring and motivating the people of the organization. So all should be within the vision should be there. Mission is, otherwise Thompson states, the mission is basically it is the essential purpose of the organizations. What is the purpose for these things? And concerning the particularly why it is an existence, that type of things are coming in your mission. So what are the results of the following? Because if we, the mission, what are the results? It is similar things. That means it is essential purpose of the organizations. It answers why the organization is in existence. So if we questions, then we get the answers for the mission purposes. So it is the basis of the awareness of the sense of the purpose, and it fits in capabilities and the opportunities which the government offices also. So mission now coming to the nature. The nature of the mission statements as follows: that it gives the social resonance, it specifies the role which the organization play in the society, then it legitimates the societal existence. It has the stylistic objectives and reflects the corporate philosophy, identity, character, and the image of the organization. These all are falling under the nature. Now we see some of the mission statements. Target marking, your missions, you have to marketing the target, and product services, process, distribution network, logistic part basically, then your core competencies, maybe some byproduct is there, maybe you are thinking some of the lot of activities in the organizations, maybe the different dimensions of the but your core competency is required, very much required. Got it? Suppose in the oil sectors, there are veteran sectors, maybe there are some byproduct is also there. BHL, NTPC, they all are good companies, they have some core competencies there. Apart from that, they may be another franchisees or some units are there, different product ranges there. But competency should be in the particular, that is basically the missions. There you cannot compromise, the core competencies cannot compromise in any way. Competitive strengths, then core values. These all are your part of your mission statement. As an element, you can say as an element of the mission statements. Now, in order to be the effective missions, the process should be following some of the features are there. What are the features? That should be achievables. As I said, the strategy should be achievables. Easy to understand, it very seamlessly, people can do it, understand the things, and brief and the positives. Clear and specific. That strategy should be clear. Yes, precisely you have to see it. There should not be any ifs and buts. Clear and indicate the business activities so that the employees can remain focused, so that there should not be any confusions. Employees cannot think, shall we are profitable or not? My salary will be increased or not? My promotion will be intact or not? Or there is that type of thing. Yes, if they feel yes, no, it's a good strategy and future is bright, and then they'll be motivated and focus on the work. They'll be more determined, dedicated. So clear and specific should be there. Then aspirations is also because it should be inspire the things, the employees. Then individuality. It should be able to define the characters of an organization. So it should be clearly, you can understand what are the character of the organization. Then strategic framework, objectives and goals. The mission statement should be made more practical, objectives and the goal, which are measurable for the target that the organizations wants to achieve. That should be clear. The objectives are the short-term actions, which includes the specified tasks needed to fulfill the long-term goals also. So good objectives covers the performance, profitability, environment, strength, and weakness. Here, so far we have discussed about this is part of the strategy. There are missions, your first visions, the mission, then objectives. So those step by steps are coming. This is all the framework. Within the framework are things. Now, I think slowly you have to come in the implementations. Now, here some of the traits of the effective objectives. What are the quality? You can say quality point of view. What should be there? So objectives should have precise, clear, measurable, logical, practical, and consistent with the missions, and produce the outcome. So these all are the, you can say, the effective objectives are there, which are the component, or we can see the requirement, basic required for the goals. Now, difference between the objectives and the goals. Now, here is some of the, sometimes we have to confuse what is the goal and objectives. Where somehow we can utilize it. Okay, we will achieve the goals. But somehow we have to achieve the objectives. So, now let's see what is the parameter, degree, time frame, impact, and measurement point of view. Then we have to see it. Objectives, if we see the degree parameters. So this case objectives is specific. Goal basically in the broad levels. In the goal, it's organizational goals. Time frame in case of objectives, that is a short term, because you have to fulfill the objectives, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. That is your short term things which you have to complete. That's some objectives. But goal is a long term. Basically, we are talking about the strategies. That is, you have to focus on the goal. So, either way, I can say the objective always is very short-term, specific, action-oriented, and there is a quantity, basically quantity. You can parameter. But in the case of goals, it is a qualitative, because we have to think about 15 years, 15 years. This is the way you have to. Your visions are like this. It's a long term. And the external environments are basically in the part of your goals. But in the case of objectives, the impact is the internal environments sometimes. So individual objectives, company objectives, maybe first, this financial year, what are the objectives of the company? How much they try to profit margins are targeted, all these things. So that is basically all the objectives are part. You can see. Goal is different. So that is very important. Sometimes questions are coming from the describe the differences between objectives and the goals. Now, need for a strategy income. Why it is needed? Because why the objectives has to be fixed? Because objectives give your heuristics where you can measure the performance of the departments and what are the SBUs are there, branch offices are there, units. So objectives are a motivating factor, force for the staff and other stockholders, the involved to achieve the organizational goals. The objectives are the basic of the decision-making purposes. So from there you can take it. It should be set because Peter Drucker, he says the objectives should be set as the area of the profitability, where the area you have to focus on. I mean, you have to set for the objectives. That is the area, profitability, innovations, productivity, physical and financial resources, where you have to earn marketing standards, manager performance, development. There's so many areas are there. Work performance, personal appraisal systems, attitudes. So all the focus areas there where you have to set some of the objectives. You have to fix some of the objectives. Then researchers have identified some of the following areas for your setting the objectives. As I said, same thing. It's just tabulated here actually. Profit objectives, marketing, productivity, products, socials, financial, human resource management. These all are the area where I have to set the objectives. Now coming to some of the analysis part. Now strategic, there are major component of the strategic analysis. What are the component? That's conducting the environmental analysis. You have to see the environmentally. Then you evaluate the various strategic alternatives, because there are 3 to 4 alternatives there. So you have to evaluate it, and finally you have to adopt. As I said, there are SOW, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat analysis are very important. You have to assess, you have to obtain, or I can say you have to ascertain your the capacity of the company, where you are now, how much resources you have, what is your strength point. Everything has to be that assessment is required through this analysis. So another part is that is basically internal. I say now it is the external. Crystal analysis is very much required for the external environment purposes, where political environment we can understand. Economically also you have to see, social, technological, where you are now, latest state of the technology has to be adopted or not, or whatever your existing systems are technically viable or not. All these things are there. Ecological environment, so all these considerations are that analysis are basically the crystal analysis. Now some of the stages of the strategy formulations are given. The developing and mission stage, then your SWOT analysis, as I said, alternative, you have to decide the alternative parts, then finally you have to choose the strategies. So when you are looking to answering any questions, give a theory part, at the same time a pictorial, that chart or something in the form of tabulations or formations or some flow chart. That is very good thing, that your idea will be clear and your presentation will be also good. You have to write something, you have to give some your tabulation or tabulated or some card or chart, whatever the way. Then some of the based on the level of the organizations and the strategies formulated. That is, as I said, the corporate level, business level, functional level, already discussed. Now, corporate portfolio analysis, there you have to see should be prevailing the different portfolios. It is necessary to analyze the position of the different business of the business house, which are done by the corporate profile systems. When your business is multiple places there, that type of, you have to make some portfolio of the corporate analysis. There are some of this plus point and minus point. All the analysis should be recorded and keep it there in different portfolios for the future reference purposes. The analysis can be done by using the 7 technologies that are shown. Some of the technological given below there, your experience card, your PLC concept, BCG matrix, space diagram, and then your Hopper's product market evaluation. There is a lot of technologies are there. Through this way, you can analyze the tools. Basically, analytical tools are there. So based on these tools, you can prepare your portfolio. You can prepare your portfolio also, different portfolio. Strategy. Now coming to implementations, because implementation is very important, because strategy are converted into practice. Now we have to, what are the theories or written formations, the strategy are there. Now it has to be practicality to come. So it is now in practice. So that's why the stages involved in the following phases: setting a goals, development, structures, allocations, communications, motivation of the employees, and the leadership. So all these are the different stages are involved there. So there are some of the elements in the strategic implementations given. Your operational stages, then your institutional evaluations, and finally your implementing stage. Then you see, during the implementation stage, control is one of the very important. This is rapidly, because the environment is rapidly changing. So suppose you have started something, now after that you are feel now some modification is required. Depending on the situation, environmental situations. So you have to, you have to push up these approaches, and you have to evaluate the things and implement the things, plan accordingly, and you do it. So to consider the things. So that's why the monitoring externally and internally monitoring is very important. What are the findings are coming? You have to execute, and you have to correct the things all the time. So that's why control is very important. Now you see the type of the control. So strategic control, basically it is control the long term, at least 5 years or more, as I say. Operational control are basically your short term part. Some modification is required or some corrections is required. You have to make it. So that is a very one of the good diagram is given, operational control. Then some of the strategy control are involved, premise control, then implementation control, spatial alert control, strategic surveillances. As we know, there are some lot of things out there. You have to monitor the thing. Surveillances, yes, some action is going on or not. Accordingly, you can take the course of action. You can take it. So similarly, same thing. Budgeting are also important. The techniques, various things are there. So see, the cost part is also zero-based budgeting, the program and performance budgeting, management control systems, feedback control, and division performance management. These all are the basically the operation control part is there. So this is the now I'm to see some of the important self-assessment questions. Let's see these units how much questions you can see. You see some of the questions are there, self-assessment questions. So first things you see what is the strategic intent? What is the intention of the things? As I said, there are some of the things are there. It should be achievable. It should be adaptable, and socially it will be adopted, feasible. All this part are basically. Then what is the missions and how it different from the purposes? Then discuss your essential of the mission statements. Then stages. There are 5 mission statements, objectives. So all are small questions which are from this unit. Now we have already discussed, and you can. I hope you can able to answer all these things. And there are how will you set the objectives for a large organizations? Take a hypothetical example. Explain the following. There's a core value, core purpose, leverage. These are some sort of as a short notes. Then 2 companies of your choice of the internet, and collect the different regarding the evaluation of the control, integrated process, give augmentation. This is the way you have to prepare yourselves. The questions. Strategic analysis is an essential prerequisite for the formatting. You have to give reasons why this strategic analysis is required, why it is prerequisites for the formatting the stages. If it is not there, strategy, what will happen? So that is the way you have to describe the things. So I think from this first block that I have now covered the unit number 1 and 2. So in the next sessions, I'll unit number 3 of block 1 and subsequent your block number 2 that we will be discussing in the next sessions. So today we have tried to cover up basically the introduction parts, what is the strategy and the framework, what are the frameworks are there, what are the process basically. Now we have discussed this. So okay, I think I hope a little bit clarify the things. So thank you very much. And third unit basically you have to discuss in the next sessions where this type of topics will be there. Okay, thank you very much.